all over the world to Portugal, we are delighted to say that we have 23 countries represented at the 6th edition of FIN. As you know, FIN is focused on networking and expanding business, so please don't be shy and introduce yourself to as many people as you can. To kickstart the event today, I would like to welcome to the stage the Minister of State, Mr. László György, PhDM from the Minister of Culture and Innovation.
Bom dia. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just learned today that the language which is spoken in heaven is Hungarian. Do you know why? Because it takes eternity to learn to speak Hungarian, and the language is written in heaven is Portuguese. As I also learned today, which is because it takes eternity to learn how to write Portuguese. But today, I promise you that you will understand a few words in Hungarian, because I will introduce you in 10 minutes the Hungarian enterprise development site, which was made by the government. This site is unique in the sense that it shows all the available government subsidized options to develop a company just fit to the company, and they don't have to search 1, 2, 3 days. I don't know how and what is your experience, but we on the government side, we are devoted to develop our companies. We are devoted to develop our mostly micro, small and medium-sized companies, because as Portugal, as other Portuguese-speaking countries around the world, Hungary has a very similar economic structure, which means this is a kind of a dual economic structure, which we are trying to change to a three-party economic structure, which means we are 70, 80, 100, 155 years behind the developed economies in developing our own multinational or global companies or global value chains. And we already know that it is very important that the companies which are operating in our countries have to be somehow related to our economies. Because one thing that they employ the people who are living in our countries, but the other thing, whether they consider our countries their homeland, their home. Many foreign companies consider our countries their home. Many foreigners came to Hungary in the last 30 years. The economic transformation happened in Hungary in the 1990s, so we have a very young market economy in Hungary. We are among the youngest market economies in the world, because the Central Eastern European region just changed economic structure at the beginning of the 1990s. Many foreigners came to Hungary to open companies and settle there. And they also took our citizenship, or they did not took our citizenship or applied for a citizenship, but they considered themselves Hungarians. There are many Germans who were outcasted from Hungary after the Second World War, back to Germany, and they fled back to Hungary because they felt they are Hungarians. So it is very important that we are developing our micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, because we believe that these companies relate to our countries as their home. We are very keen on creating a relationship with foreign-owned enterprises as well, and we want to create an environment in Hungary for them in which they can also feel home, and we can connect them with our small and medium-sized enterprises. And let me show you how we do it in Hungary, and not to talk about big words anymore, but rather show you Vali, which is the enterprise development platform in Hungary. Vali is a women name, female name, Valerie. Valerie but also means vállalkozói információ. Now you learned something Hungarian. Vállalkozó információ is VALI, is the abbreviation of vállalkozó információ. And once you start to type in any company's name here, then you will be capable of choosing it from a menu. I will look for, let's see, Logimatics. I've never dealt with Logimatics. This is a limited liability company. For the first click, we will be able to show the basic information on that company. It's not rocket science. Everyone knows that. Every local authority can give you this data for free. We understand its EBITDA, its balance sheet, its revenue from the past, how many employees it has, how many places where it is centered it has. We can see their financial data for the last 7 years. Now we already have the 2021 data as well. This is something very new, and we see that this company was developing a lot recently. After the second click, congratulations, there are 17 fit to the size opportunities for Logmatics with which the owner or the representatives of the company can develop this company. 8 government subsidized credits, 7 non-refundable subsidies, 2 credit guarantees. We have specialized, qualified specific advisors and model sample factories and training programs. These are only those options, 17 options, which are available for this company. In the past, we had the difficulty to reach the companies. There are different agencies in the country, they are in the government, they are competing with each other, they are offering their services. And one of the companies to which I introduced this portal, they said it took them 3 days to collect all the information, which now is available for after 3 clicks. And there is one thing left, is to register or sign in. If you want to register, you can easily do it by Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, or you can just simply register with an email address. It is important because I don't know how it is in your country, but we have these government gateways through which we can connect to the government. Register there is a very long process, and we are receiving many emails from the tax authorities when we submit a tax sheet, and we didn't want it to have that. We wanted to have an easy and fast reach to this portal. If I click here now, it recommends me to register because I have already a registration. I will sign in and order this company to my account. I will do it quickly. If I find, I found it. I did not rehearse because I forget that there must be differences between the different types of, okay. Porto has good energies, and I'm fine. And I could, nunca. Okay. And I have to order this company to me. I will be an advisor of this company because I'm not an owner. I'm not a member of the management. And now if you click here, you see here the state subsidized credit options. In Hungary, we have many state subsidized credit options. Now the credits are already double-digit interest rate burdened. It means if you want to have an investment in Hungary, the average interest on an investment credit is 12%. We have investment schemes that are running with 2.5% interest rate, which means we are giving a very favorable credit line to our companies. You can label it, and if you click here, then you find yourself on the application side and you can apply for the credit. I hope you feel it interesting and feel it's important from your perspective to reach companies with such a speed. And we also have these non-refundable subsidies. If companies want to employ or want to invest, they can get non-refundable subsidies from the government. And what I still would like to show you, these are the qualified advisors. The problem here is, if we are considering enterprise development as an issue, that advisors knock on the doors of enterprises and offer a kind of a service. And they can say whatever they want. And the problem is that they go there, they offer their services, and most of the cases, if the business happens, there are no results, because they're promising something which they do not keep. And we thought that if we want to develop these companies, we have to create a market here, and we create a trust between small and medium-sized enterprises and consultancy firms. And that is why we created a platform to which every consultant can come up and apply. And in maximum 1 month, we create an account for such kind of a company. There are 5 main fields. The first is product development. The second is branding. The third is strategic and company financial advisory. The fourth is process engineering. And the fifth is related to environment. And you can choose whichever you want. So let's choose strategic and business development. I'm looking for such kind of an advice, and I am a small-sized company, so employing between 10 and 50 employees. Then only those advisors will appear which have references in this field for small-sized companies. This is multi-contact. This is a Hungarian advisor film, but you could see that KPMG is also registered at this platform. And here you can see that for strategic and business development, what kind of references this company has. From this point on, small and medium-sized enterprises will find those advisory companies which have references in their fields, and surely there will be fruitful cooperation with these companies. And what else we created is the Modern Sample Factory in Hungary, Modern Sample Factory program in Hungary. We in Hungary, we lag behind in digitalization. Our companies are not well organized and not working wisely. There is this so-called DESI index, which is measured by the European Commission and shows how much digitalized our companies are. We are in the bottom 1/3 of the European Union countries. And we asked the small and medium-sized enterprises, what is the reason for that? And they said they are already fed up with all the presentations on digitalization. They saw so many PowerPoint presentations on digitalization, but those are all abstracts. And that inspired us to create a platform where we invite 100 Hungary-based companies, from small-sized companies to German large companies like Festo, Continental, Bosch, to join this platform and open their gates to those small and medium-sized enterprises which want to learn how those practices, those future technologies or advanced technologies of the present are working in real life. So here you can choose big data, data management, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, hydrogen technology, etc., ERP systems, CRM systems, whatever you are interested in, or you can choose from a calendar, or you can choose from Hungary's map. Let me choose now robotics, and let's see what Budapest offers in robotics. This is Festo, and there will be a sample factory visit on June 15th. You are gladly invited. There are still 12 places left, so you can come and visit Festo. And here you can see what kind of future technologies Festo is offering to other companies which are visiting Festo. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I would like to show you with this platform, with this valley, that we have plenty of opportunities, and we are very keen on helping our local companies to develop. The problem today, the greatest challenge for us, government decision makers, to reach the companies. Most of the companies do not know that they are lagging behind in digitalization. They are focusing on their own business. They consider digitalization or greening as a must, which is not related to their core activities. It's like going to the dentist. If you go to the dentist on your own, on time, it is much easier. If you postpone it, you will go and your teeth will be pulled out. So that is why we wanted to create a platform through which we can inspire the companies to try to do their best, bring out of their competencies the best, bring out from their competencies the best. And that is how we want to reach the companies in this huge communication buzz that we are hearing around us with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all these platforms that are taking away our attention from the issues that we should focus on. Thank you very much for listening. And if I can help you introduce such kind of practices in your countries, I will be at your disposal during the conference. Thank you very much again. Obrigado.
Thank you, Mr. György. Now, let's please welcome to the stage the City Councillor from Finance, Economy and Employment and City Councillor for Tourism and Commerce, Ricardo Valente.
So, good morning to you all. First of all, a word to Alberto. So it's an honor to be here. It's amazing the work you have done and the way you have been able to project this conference, this forum, and all of the time beginning in Porto. So for us, it's very relevant to be, let's say, the city that is the father of this event. To the Minister of State, Minister of Culture and Innovation, Professor László György, many thanks to be here in the city of Porto. It's an honor. To the Mr. Ambassador of Angola and the Council here in the city. So it's nice to have you here in this event. A brief words about the city and the way we engage in economic development and the way we try to bring investments to the city. So Porto, since 2014, is run by an independent movement. So we are the only independent movement in Europe running a city as the size of Porto. So we have basically make a huge challenge to the citizens of the city. It was to bring Porto again to be one of the engines of economic development of the region and of the country. And what we can say is that nowadays we have been very successful. So Porto nowadays is the city with a bigger number of startups in Portugal. We are the city with a bigger number of patents in Portugal, and that's very relevant on a country where Lisbon is at the center stage of everything. We are a very centralized country. We have right now in the city 9 unicorns, and that's also very relevant. That 9 unicorns that we have in the city, we have 3 of them that are Portuguese ones here in the city. And this startup ecosystem is very relevant for us. In terms of FDI investments, we have attracted more than 4.8 billion euros of FDI investment to the city since 2017, 2021. The value added of foreign companies here in the city of Porto is right now 22% of the GDP of the city. For you to have an idea, in 2013, at the beginning of our mandate, the level of GDP connected to FDI was below 7%. And the number of employments that we have been able to create through this FDI attraction program that we have set up is higher than 20,000 employments here in the city. So it's a huge achievement for us. We are very proud of that, to make that kind of development. And we have made it basically because we believed that if you want to attract investment, you should basically have a city that is a city where is good to live, and Porto is good to live. A city that is relevant in terms of tourism, and you know that nowadays, basically people want to work in places where it's good to live, it's good to enjoy life, and I think that we have been watching a new trend. We will launch a new program here in the city for digital nomads, because we think that Porto can be one of the places where you can work to the world, basically connecting your company here in the city. And last but not the least, the level of tolerance, the openness, the ability to build bridges that throughout the years we have been able to make. I think that in a world where we have so many people building walls, we have throughout history built bridges. So we have a lot of bridges. We have a river, and the river is our natural wall, but we have been able to destroy the wall. Not destroying nothing, but building something that's completely different. And we have been able to build these bridges to the other sides, so that Porto, in essence, is a very small city. I don't know if you have that statistic. We are the 8th smallest city in Portugal, but we are the biggest in Seoul. And that's a relevant thing. The relevant thing is the way you are able to project yourself, the way you are able to build through the quality, the knowledge, the skills, the ability to do things that you have in a space, not the size of the space that you have. So, and to finish, I hope that you enjoyed the city. Fantastic forum for all of you. And if you want something from the City Hall, please feel free to contact me. Many thanks.
Thank you, City Councillor. This ceremony will be closed by Alberto Carvalho Neto, the mentor of this event and president of AJEPC that organizes FIN, and of June, who is supporting the event across Europe.
Hello, everyone. First of all, many thanks and welcome to all. Thanks, Minister László, György. Thanks, Ricardo Valente, for your nice words, and of course, always welcome here in this amazing city. Thanks, ambassadors, consuls, presidents of institutions, businessmen, businesswomen, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to all that support FIN at the institutional level, but also the sponsors, because this is already our 6 years doing this amazing event of networking, and we want to keep doing that. And like I said from the very beginning, at least till 2025, we expect that we can do it here in Porto. This project started, and the mentor was in 2015, the idea to organize events supporting and bringing the networking, mostly between the Portuguese-speaking countries, with the idea to make three major events in the Portuguese-speaking countries, based with 3 events, 3 continents, and then connected it. That's taken a while to make the 3 big events. So we started here in 2017 in Porto. In the same year, we did Macau, and we keep doing Porto Macau. Then with COVID, we stopped with Macau. Then last year, we did in November. So FIN normally is in June here, October in Macau. And now we just started also our cooperation and we did now in a few weeks ago in Brazil. So finally we can say that after these years, that from the idealization of the project till the starting point, we already did the 3 major events in the 3 continents, making this networking growing up, and also giving the chance for everyone that is looking for partnerships to know exactly where they can find and found the same businessmen that they already connect before, and mostly do what we are doing here, that is supporting the huge institutions, because we know each one of you represent other associations, other institutions, so the networking spread very fast. I hope that soon, that we are now facing this situation, COVID, and now a war also in Europe, that soon we can be much more, and I believe that we're gonna super this phase of COVID and also the war that is happening now in Europe, on the way that we can increase our networking, and also we can starting to get better results and avoid, of course, the changes that we are getting now in the economy globally. Was also say that now that we did the major ones, we're going to start the tailored ones. What is the tailor-made ones? So it's the smaller ones that we want to do in different countries, and that we're going to start in Angola end of this year already, and there where we want to do some projects directly in the countryside. Also we want to do in the capitals, but we also want to do in the countryside. So FIN will keep promoting and the networking, but also the awareness, how we can be and how the business people can support also the nations to grow up, and also to give some directions and support the political system on the way to listen the business people to find the good solutions to the networking, and also to increase the potential in each country. We just did now the business rail, so is for the ones that never did the interrail, is amazing experience that is business on a train with speed meetings. And we just started this Iberian edition last week. We started in Barcelona, Madrid, Lisbon, and Troncamento, with amazing museum that we are always very welcome there also. And then we finalize here in Porto, that always welcome us with a very prestigious time. But we also started this year a big project that was designed 2 years ago, and that awareness started in Angola. Because of this year, our country that we are very well connected with FIN is Angola, and that started with the awareness to make the business trip, that is a trip that we do by 4x4. And that is amazing experience doing these trips by car in Angola, and see how sometimes with small things that the businessmen can support, how many people we can touch. So this year, instead of just doing the trip inside Angola, we did from Maputo, from Luanda to Maputo, so from Angola to Mozambique. West was 12 days of amazing networking, and was a place where we checked, of course, all the potential that we have between the countries, also the potential that we have making not just bilateral business, but also triangular business between different countries, but give us also a humble idea about the world. And also how lucky we are here in Europe when we face some problems that we are looking. But also we face and we understand the happiness of the people that are truly genuine, and the welcome in each place where we supported. Just for everyone get an idea, our slogan during this business trip 4x4 between Angola and Mozambique was water and energy for all. So we supported many schools during our trip, giving the water and giving also an installment of solar panels. So, and I'm saying that because I want to also to touch all of you business people to understand that with the small actions we can do much better projects. For example, one of our projects was bringing bags with a solar system on a bag where we can charge the phones, the laptops, but also the retro projectors for the schools, for the kids to have something to take a look during the time that the teacher is saying. So we will keep doing this awareness. We will keep showing to the world that it's possible to work more close. And of course, we want to increase our networking, improve our net. And doing so, I believe that during these next 2 days, you're gonna get lots of good moments. And I hope that you can do like we did now on the business rail, speak about your first business, speak about your second business, speak about your family business, because if you can do that, of course, you're going to give also a better idea what are you looking for, what also you can provide, and mostly you can work with friends, because in the end, it will be much more easier if we work all together like a friends. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy FIN 2022. Thank you.